And moving to Russia, where the Kremlin has labeled the United States as an enemy, reportedly for the first time. The remark was made by Vladimir Putin's press secretary, Dmitry Peskov. Until now, neither Putin nor the Kremlin had ever referred to the United States as an enemy of Russia. During a press briefing, Peskov said, quote, "We are now an enemy country for them, just as they are for us," end quote. Now, this was in response to a claim made by a former American intelligence officer who was recently barred from traveling to Russia and had his passport confiscated by U.S. border officials. Now, the Kremlin's shift in rhetoric comes days after U.S. President Joe Biden allowed Ukraine to strike inside Russia with some American weapons. Latest reports say Ukrainian forces have used U.S. weapons to strike Russian targets inside Russia to defend the Kharkiv region. Now, this has angered Putin even further, who has now warned that Moscow could arm other countries with similar weapons to attack Ukraine's Western allies.
What must we do in response? First of all, we will improve our air defense systems to destroy the missiles. Secondly, we think that if someone thinks it is possible to supply such weapons to a combat zone to strike at our territory and create problems for us, why do we not have the right to supply our weapons of the same class to those regions of the world where there will be strikes on the sensitive facilities of those countries that are doing this against Russia?
Now, Putin's remarks comes as Russia is expected to send combat vessels into the Caribbean region this summer to participate in naval exercises. This will likely include port calls in Cuba and potential stops in Venezuela. Washington says Russia wants to show that it's still capable of some level of power projection. However, the Biden administration does not view the deployment with alarm since Russia repeatedly sails ships into the Western Hemisphere. But now, with tensions increasing between the two nations over the war in Ukraine, it remains to be seen if Russia's naval drills will become a flashpoint of heightened alarm for the United States.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. And it reads, "The second woe is past." Woe going into the Second World War. Woe means destruction, right? So the Second World War is past. And behold, the third World War cometh quickly. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawah, Yahawashi, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. And I would pray that this lesson be edifying to the elect. So Revelation 11 and 14. Again, the second woe is past. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. You know, and Putin is tired of Babylon's shit. You know, and you know, he's moving his chess pieces, man. And this is all through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. As the scriptures say in Proverbs, I'll get that real quick. This is Proverbs 21 and 1. And it reads, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." So this is all the Lord's plan, you know. So let's get some of this, get some of this article I came across from Zero Hedge. It was published today, June 10th, 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And here it is. It's only June, man. And look at all these prophecies that are coming to pass, man, right before our very eyes. So it says, Russia could deploy ICBMs in Mexico, state TV warns. And that's ICBM missiles is how this bitch America is gonna go out. Babylon, as it's known in the scriptures. It says Russians on Kremlin state TV yesterday declared that Mexico was their military ally and they are wanting to place their missiles on Mexican territory so Mexico can attack the U.S. Jake Bro, a former U.S. Air Force nuclear and missile operations officer, stated on X Sunday, "This is insane." It says days prior to this, Russian media pundits suggested Moscow should deploy nuclear-capable ballistic missiles in the Caribbean in response to NATO countries giving Kyiv the green light to attack inside Russian territory using Western supplied weapons. So, Putin's pretty much, like he said in the opening clip, well, if y'all are going to do that, y'all going to basically be in our backyard, helping these Ukrainians and supplying them with weapons, and they're actually using the weapons that y'all gave them on us. So why don't we just even the playing field and put missiles and weapons in your backyard and arm them, arm Mexico with these weapons to attack Babylon. It says, is it so insane that this would be threatened, or would it be a natural reaction for any country at a time enemy missiles are deployed right up against their borders, right? So I mean, logically, that it makes sense why he would, do something like that. Because Babylon, let's get that. Babylon has been pushing its weight around for a very long time. And these nations are tired of it. This is Jeremiah 50:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And this is what's soon to happen, man, to this place, Babylon the Great, aka America, man. In Joel 3, let's see, I'll go straight to the point. Joel 3:9 says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." It says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I'm strong," right? So they're, instead of using money towards their agriculture, more money towards their economy and things of that nature, they're developing weapons. They're developing their defense systems. They're preparing for war. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord." It says, "Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Yahawashi, which is the Lord's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." And this is all throughout the scriptures. That the Lord is gathering them, for this great destruction, man, World War III. So it says, the channel's program called 60 Minutes was specifically addressing NATO escalation and not only handing over to Kyiv more and more long-range weapons, including soon-to-be delivered F-16 fighter jets, but also in reaction to Western capitals appearing to now positively encourage increased attacks on Russian soil. It says the show hosts also questioned the authenticity of the White House having imposed limits on how deep into Russian territory U.S. supplies weapons can go. President Biden, while in France last week, told ABC that it doesn't mean Ukraine can attack Moscow. In the same segment, co-anchor Olga speculated that one asymmetric response for Moscow would be to position missiles to those nations that are willing to strike our enemies. She then listed off allies like Venezuela, Cuba, and North Korea, describing further that a more traditional option would obviously be a nuclear strike as soon as we see an existential threat, Slovakia, to our country. So hey, it's about to go down, man. Because that's what the words of the Lord don't come back void, man. They accomplish what he pleases, you know. The words of the Lord are faithful and true. President Putin, in his recent comments before the St. Petersburg Annual Economic Forum, said that the moment has not been reached which warrants the nuclear option, and expressed hope for de-escalation with the West. But he did last week threaten to supply advanced weapons to countries deemed enemies of the West, you know, in retaliation for NATO escalation in Ukraine. As for Mexico, which just saw leftist President Claudia come to power on a platform vowing the continuation of predecessor Andres Manuel Lopez policies, it has adopted an official policy of neutrality while also refusing to back U.S.-led sanctions on Moscow. However, Mexico has in the past generally condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Yeah, so there you go, man. You know, and it says the Lord will put his hooks in their jaws, you know, talking about the Russians, man. You know, bring it back to that old Soviet Union spirit, man. You know, and they're going to help push towards this World War III, man. And it's gonna be fought differently, and I'll get that. So this is Zephaniah 3:8, and it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to power upon them." Power upon them my indignation, even on my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And what's this fire? Is Isaiah 9:5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." So all the previous different wars were, you know, hand-to-hand combat. You know, we just had they just did D-Day the other day. So you talk about guns and different things of that. But it says, but this one says, "But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire," right? And that's going to be those ICBM missiles that we were just talking about in that article. Jeremiah 50:14, it says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord." Right? So those arrows are ICBM missiles, man. That's gonna pelt this place Babylon, man, and burn it from sea to shining sea, man. This place is gonna be utterly destroyed, man. And it's all throughout the scriptures, man. The scriptures talk about the earth is gonna rock to and fro like a drunkard. You know, it talks about the sky, heavens being rolled together as a scroll. Speaking of that mushroom cloud that happens when a ICBM missile hits the earth and it detonates. You know, so this is going down, man. You know, this is indeed about to go down. So, you know, I just want to do a quick hit, you know, report, you know, as we're commanded to do. I hope and pray that this lesson was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to thank Yahawah Yahawashi once again for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening, learning, fighting this good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. We're almost out of here. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. I'll say a ball, and Kwam Yasharala. And shalom. To the next one.